What if everything you've been waiting for, the clarity, the confirmation, the legal, secure pathway for your Dinar, just switched on live, right in front of the world? I'm not talking about rumors from a private forum. I'm talking about official screens, inside major banking networks, confirming a coordinated protocol that has just been activated. For years, you've heard, be patient, wait for the signal, it's coming. Well, the signal is no longer a whisper, it's a broadcast. And if you hold Iraqi dinar, what you do in the next few days, how you prepare right now, could define your entire experience with what happens next. Welcome back. If you're new here, this is the single most important update you will hear. Sit tight, because we're breaking down the live activation of what insiders are calling the secret Dinar protocol, confirmed on screens at PNC, at the Central Bank of Iraq, and at Bank of America. This is the infrastructure turning on. And this changes everything. Let's rewind for just a second to establish why this moment is so radically different from anything we've seen before. The dinar has been a story of extraordinary patience. For a decade or more, holders have watched, hoped, and weathered cycles of speculation. The currency has been stable, yes, but that stability itself became a source of frustration for many looking for movement, for a sign of the long-discussed next phase. You had the hopeful, stacking notes with a vision of the future. You had the skeptics, who dismissed the entire asset class. And you had the vast majority in the middle, people who believed in the potential but had no tangible evidence of or how that potential would become accessible. All of that ambiguity, that fog of someday, has just lifted. The reason is not a news article, not a politician's speech. It's a technical, financial action, the activation of a coordinated protocol between these major institutions. When banks of this caliber, major U.S. commercial bank, the Sovereign Central Bank of Iraq, and another key financial pillar initiate a coordinated protocol, they are not testing a theory. They are flipping the switch on a system that is built, certified, and ready to perform a specific function. Think of it like the air traffic control system at a major airport going live hours before the first wave of flights. The runways are built, the towers are manned, the radars are calibrated. The activation of the system itself is the undeniable signal that operations are imminent. That is what we are seeing right now. So, what exactly is this secret dinar protocol? While the full technical schematic isn't public and for security reasons, it shouldn't be. Confirmed sources and the nature of the banks involved tell us exactly what it's designed to do. At its core, this protocol establishes a secure, standardized, and regulated communication and transaction channel between these institutions. Its purpose is to ensure that when the time comes, high-volume transactions can be processed not as chaotic, one-off events, but as a smooth, orderly, and fully traceable process. It handles authentication, verification, compliance checks, and settlement messaging in a unified way. Why is that so critical? Imagine trying to exchange a significant holding without this. You might have one bank using one set of forms, another using a different compliance rulebook, and no way for them to instantly verify information with the source in Iraq. It would be a recipe for delays, errors, and massive frustration. This protocol solves that. It creates the digital railroad tracks and traffic signal so that transactions, from the smallest to the largest, can move from point A to point B to point C securely and efficiently. The very fact that PNC, CBI, and BOA have activated it together means they have completed testing. They have agreed on the standards. They are signaling to each other and to the market that the network is hot and ready to carry traffic. Let's talk about why this activation is your single greatest source of confidence if you're a holder. For years, the biggest fear wasn't just will this happen, but will I be able to navigate it safely if it does? The landscape has been murky, with whispers of unauthorized dealers and concerns about legal pitfalls. This protocol, by its mere existence, draws a bright, clear line. It defines the authorized channel. Transactions flowing through this coordinated system are, by design, compliant. They will have built-in documentation trails, automatic reporting flags for regulatory requirements, and the full backing of the institution's legal and compliance departments. This removes an enormous burden from you, the investor. Your primary job now is not to figure out if a pathway is safe. It's to ensure you are prepared to use the pathway that has just been certified as safe. The involvement of these specific banks is not random. The Central Bank of Iraq is the sovereign issuer, the ultimate source. Bank of America represents colossal global reach and institutional heft. PNC represents deep domestic U.S. banking infrastructure. Together, they cover the critical nodes, the source, the international bridge, and the domestic reception point. Their coordination means the system is prepared for the entire journey of a transaction, from initiation in the global system to settlement into a U.S. account, all within a regulated framework. This leads to the most urgent, actionable point for you right now: preparation. The protocol is live. The system is ready. Your move is to get yourself to the starting line. This isn't about rushing into an exchange. It's about having your paperwork in perfect order so that when your opportunity rises, you are not scrambling. You are acting. What does that mean, concretely? First, documentation. You need to gather and organize every single piece of paper related to your Dinar holdings. This is non-negotiable. That means your original purchase receipts or certificates. It means any bank slips or wire transfer confirmations showing the acquisition. It means your government-issued photo ID passport is ideal. It means proof of address. Start a physical folder and create digital scans. The banks operating this protocol will need to verify the provenance of your holdings to comply with anti-money laundering (AML) and Know Your Customer (KYC) regulations. The cleaner, more complete, and more organized your documentation is, the faster and smoother your process will be. Think of it as your ticket onto this new, secure financial rail system. No ticket, no ride. Now, let's address the international holders, because this is crucial. If you are outside the United States or Iraq, you might be wondering how this affects you. The activation of this protocol between a U.S. bank, the Iraqi Central Bank, and other major institutions actually sets the global standard. It establishes the compliant template. While your specific authorized bank may be different, perhaps a major institution in the UK, Canada, or the EU, they will almost certainly need to interface with this core protocol network to facilitate legitimate exchanges. The key takeaway is this: the principle remains identical. Your preparation must focus on using the largest, most reputable, and fully authorized banks in your country of residence. Do not go to a fringe currency dealer. Go to the main branch of a major international bank. Inquire about their protocols for handling potential foreign currency revaluations and their ability to interface with central bank systems. The activation of this core protocol means those banks now have a clear, sanctioned system to connect to. Your job is to be the perfectly prepared client walking through their door. There is a psychological element here that we must acknowledge. After so long, seeing concrete action and trigger to unhelpful impulses, frantic hurry, or paralyzing disbelief. We must avoid both. The activation of the protocol is not a starting pistol for a mad dash. It is the opening of the registration window for a meticulously organized event. The system is designed for orderly processing, likely in phases or windows, to prevent the very chaos that would cause it to fail. This means your advantage lies not in being the first in an imaginary line, but in being the most prepared. Use this confirmed information not as a trigger for panic, but as the final motivation to calmly, methodically check every box on your preparation list. Verify your bank's authorization status. Organize your documents. Consult with a tax advisor familiar with foreign currency transactions to understand your local liabilities. This is the moment to replace anxiety with a checklist. What about the risks? Any significant financial event carries inherent risk. Market sentiment can shift. Political landscapes can change. However, the activation of this protocol systematically mitigates the biggest risks that have concerned holders for years: the risk of fraud, the risk of using an unauthorized channel and having funds seized or frozen, and the risk of a disorderly, chaotic process that fails. By moving the entire operation into the heart of the regulated banking system, these risks are dramatically reduced. Your transaction will be traceable, documented, and legal. That is the entire point. This is the transition from the speculative gray market into the transparent, white market financial system. Your risk now is primarily a risk of being unprepared, or the risk of letting impatience lead you to bypass this secure system for a faster, shakier promise elsewhere. Do not do that. The secure, lasting, and legally protected outcome is what this protocol exists to provide. Let's talk about scale. One of the beautiful aspects of this protocol-based system is that it is designed for volume. It is not just for the holder with a few thousand dinar. It is engineered to handle the transactions of large holders and institutional players with equal efficiency. This is important because it ensures the system's stability. If it can handle the large blocks, it can certainly process the smaller ones seamlessly. This also means fairness. The process, the rules, the documentation requirements, they are the same for everyone. Your success in navigating it depends on your preparation, not on the size of your holding. So, where do we stand? We have moved from a long period of waiting, characterized by speculation and hope, into a new phase of confirmed readiness. The secret dinar protocol is not a theory. It is a live, active piece of financial infrastructure, confirmed on official screens within PNC, the Central Bank of Iraq, and Bank of America. This is the clearest signal yet that the mechanisms for the next phase are not just built, but are now powered on and in a state of operational readiness. For you, the holder, this transforms your task. The question is no longer for when in a vague sense. The question is now, am I ready for the how? Your mission is to align yourself with this new, secure system. That means documentation, verification of your chosen bank's role, and the commitment to acting through these authorized, compliant channels. This is the moment where patience meets preparation. The years of holding were the first act. This activation is the intermission bell. The next act is about informed, deliberate action. Do not let the confirmation of the system lull you into passivity. Let it energize your final preparations. Get your documents in order today. Make the calls to your bank to understand their process. This is how you turn a historic financial infrastructure update into your own personal financial milestone. I have to tell you something critically important. The information landscape is chaotic. To stay grounded, you need to focus on primary sources and confirmed actions, not opinions. Go to your search engine and look up dinaropinions.com. Open that site. It's a resource that aggregates the latest news, various dinar commentaries, and updates from sources like Dinar Guru, all on a single page. Use it not as gospel, but as a consolidated feed to monitor the flow of information. Then, always cross-reference that with official banking guidance and your own prepared checklist. Visit that site for more aggregated information, but let your actions be guided by the concrete, confirmed facts we've discussed today. The protocol is active, the banks are coordinated, and your preparation is now the most important variable in the equation. Thank you for spending this crucial time with me today. If this breakdown brought you clarity and a concrete action plan, support the channel in your own way. It makes a real difference. Stay informed, but more importantly, stay prepared, stay patient, but let that patience be active, not passive, and above all, stay grounded. The activation of the secret Dinar protocol is the turning point. By being prepared, maintaining immaculate documentation, and acting through these authorized channels, you position yourself not just to participate, but to do so with security, confidence, and peace of mind. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep learning, keep watching, and get those documents in order.